What's up everybody, welcome back to the Throttle channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at our 2003 Mitsubishi Evolution 8 and we're going to go over what it would cost you to recreate a similar build. This is a 2003 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 8. We were able to source this car with 55,000 original miles only. That is very low for this chassis, and we got the car for around $30,000. So the most obvious upgrades to this car were probably the paint and body, but we did add some other bits to spice up the outside underneath this beautiful $8,000 paint job from SOS Customs. For starters, we added a C West body kit. Now we were fortunate enough to get this on the car that we bought, but if you were to buy this kit, it's about $2,000 to order it up for yourself. One interesting thing though, we actually went ahead and upgraded to the carbon fiber canards on the side here. So those are an add-on piece. You don't have to have those if you don't want them. One of the other really obvious things we added was this save-on hood. We love the look. It's carbon, we painted a bit of it, left the carbon touch. This hood can be purchased through Throtl for $901. Here we have our RPG mirrors. These can be purchased for about $230. And then to round out the rear end of the car, we have our Save-On carbon fiber wing that's been painted on the ends and left raw in the center. And that can be had for $561. For around 200 bucks, we ditched the stock taillights, added these nice smoke versions. These are around 200 bucks. We grabbed up a set of Advan RZ2s. These came in a blue color, but we went ahead and sent these off the powder coat. The wheels were around $2,500, powder coating was around $400, so just under $3 grand, we've got our wheels all set up in a custom color. We added a set of Falcon RT660 tires. These super grippy bad boys cost around 900 bucks. In order to get this thing stopped, we added a set of StopTech rotors front and rear and Hawk HPS pads. The brake combination cost about $600. And to round out the wheel and tire package, we got Moteki lug nuts. Those come in around 70 bucks. Okay, well let's pop the hood and have a look under there now. So it's pretty flashy under here now. As you guys saw, I put our Garage Alpha titanium hood prop in. These are about 150 bucks. We also added the Garage Alpha 13 millimeter nuts for the strut tops. Let's talk about the suspension. And the reason I popped the hood to talk about suspension is because we've got Moton Club Sport adjustables on here. And as you can see, we've got the reservoirs mounted here under the hood for quick and easy adjustment. And these come in at around $6,600. To go along with our Motons, we also have some white line bump steer kit in the rear and a roll center correction set in the front, and that came in around 500 bucks. Now let's move on to this engine bay, because it sure is flashy under here. If you guys have watched the series, you know that a lot of changes have happened in this area right here. We've removed the aftermarket turbo, the aftermarket exhaust manifold. We've reverted back to the OEM turbo setup. We relied on our friends over at Pure Turbos to take our factory turbo, refurbish it, port it, and clip it so that we can make good horsepower and torque numbers out of this 4G63 block. In order to do that, it cost $1,960. It's pretty obvious that we added a bunch of carbon fiber parts under here, and these came from a couple different vendors. The bits that are on the engine actually came from a company called APR. These can be purchased through Throtl. We threw a bit of carbon at the 4G63 engine just to spice it up and really play well with the gray that we chose for the wheel color and the valve cover. All of these carbon parts, including this APR carbon fiber cooling plate, can be had for about $560. And we obviously added this huge chunk of carbon fiber over here, and this is our airbox from RPG. This can be purchased for around $350. Inside this RPG carbon fiber intake, we actually have a K&N filter. That can be purchased for around 50 bucks. To address the cooling on this car, we actually chose to use Mishimoto. We went with their EVO 8 radiator, paired with their shroud and fan, as well as their silicone radiator hoses. And all of that can be purchased for around $560. Some of the things that you can't see that are actually in this engine are underneath the valve cover. And inside there we have HKS cams. Those can be purchased for around 600 bucks. We have Toda cam gears. Those can be purchased for around $250. And to round things out, we have ARP head studs that can be purchased for around $150. Moving on to some of the other bits on this car that you can't see with the naked eye but are on it are our front Quaife limited slip differential, which can be had for about $1,700, and our locked TRE rear diff, which is about $700, and the Exidy Stage 2 twin disc that can be had for around $1,400, making this drivetrain a really potent combination. And in front of all that stuff, we have a couple obvious bits, which are our Buescher Racing intercooler, which is around $1,400, and our tile blow-off valve, which is around $267. And there's one last piece of the drivetrain that is around back. You can probably guess that's the muffler and exhaust. This is a titanium and carbon fiber wrapped muffler with a custom center section, and this can be had for around $600. So inside our Evo, it's obviously very racy. We've got our Sparco steering wheel, we've got a set of Sparco seats in here. The new seats are around $1,800, and the new steering wheel is gonna be around $250. So if you guys followed the build series, you know that this car was stripped when we got it. It did not have any rear seats, so we had to source those from a local Evo enthusiast. We picked up his rear seats for $250, and it really completed the interior. Some of the other things this car did not have when we got it was carpet, which we had to buy. That was about $250. The headliner was destroyed, so we had to get a new headliner and wrap it. So we paid $50 for a new headliner, and we paid $150 for materials. So for $200, we got a nice fancy new headliner with some great materials on it. Over the course of us owning this car, these gauges really grew on us. Ricky and I were not about these when we first got this car, but once we got used to the car and seeing the gauges on the dash and on the pillar, we actually really started to like them a lot. So we decided to keep them. But in order to make them a little more flashy, we removed the aluminum housings that are on the back of the gauges and actually threw carbon housings on. And those housings cost around $265 for all 5. And here we have this awesome throttle shift knob as well. It feels great in here. These are about $100 on throtl.com. If you guys are interested, we do have some of these available still in this Evo Flora Orange, which looks super rad inside these dark interiors. A complete interior is not complete without a good sound system. So for that, we relied on our friends at Metra to supply us with a dash kit that allows us to put a double din Pioneer MVH 1400 NEX head unit into a location that it wouldn't normally fit by moving the climate controls down to the pocket area down here and allowing us all the functionality of this great head unit, which is awesome. It's Bluetooth capable, voice activated, sends text, makes phone calls, maps, the whole nine. And we paired that to a 4-pack of Kicker speakers, which are in the doors and the rear package tray. If you'd like to do the same conversion, the head unit was about $300 and the rear speakers and door speakers were about $200. And last but not least, this car was stripped, so you know we had to replace the door panels. Those were $200 off of eBay. And one of my favorite interior touches is fresh floor mats. We were able to source a set of actual Evo 8 new old stock floor mats for $75 online, and I think they really crispen up the interior quite a bit. In the back seat, we've got this auto power roll cage. These are about $600, but we did send this out and get it powder coated, so there's a little additional cost to it, but we think it looks great. It's an awesome accent piece, and it fits really nicely with these rear seats in. In order to build a replica of this car, you have to spend about $75,000, and that doesn't include the labor hours of Ricky and myself and anyone else that helped work on this car. So if you're gonna do the work yourself, you could say it'd be about 75 grand. If you're gonna have a shop do it, you're looking at well over $100,000 to recreate this particular car. If you're interested in winning this car, it's not too late. The sweepstakes ends at the end of the month. Head on over to throtl.com, buy the car parts you've been wanting, or pick up some merch that we have for sale there. Every dollar you spend on our website is one entry to win this awesome Evo 8. Man, if you guys made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I want you guys to leave a comment down below letting us know what you think the next Throtl Sweepstakes car should be. And maybe your suggestion will be our next Sweepstakes car.
I didn't put that on there.
You didn't.
I didn't put it on there.
You didn't.
C West?
Yeah,
Oh, so it's like,
no.
it's like,
And as you can see, we've got the reservoirs mounted here under the hood for quick and easy adjustment. These come in right around $1 million. $6,600?